Hi, Tiffany. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Today, we're going to take a little bit of time just to talk about your experience in the Empower Her program that has just finished with your group. And you'll get a chance to just share what it was like for you, your big takeaways, and what the journey was like for you as well. Before we dive into the actual program, why don't you start by telling us a little bit about who you are, what you do, what do you love about what you do?
Sure. So I'm Tiffany Alcantara. I'm a clinical psychologist. I've been doing this for about 15 years. I see from age 14 all the way up through adulthood. I think it's just absolutely the thing that I was born to do. I love sitting with people, working on goals similar to what you do, but really helping people get out of their own way and letting people see progress and growth and transformation in their lives. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to acknowledge, Anu, that over the time in the program, I got to see your passion for this and how much you really love it. And one of the things we've talked about is how lucky all of your clients are to have somebody like you, in terms of somebody who genuinely listens, who really cares, who is honestly there for them with empathy and with all of your best self to help them be their best self. So I know that they're all very lucky to have you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Tell us a little bit about what was happening in your life when you decided to say, yes, I'm going to join this Empower Her program.
Sure. I met Trisha at a workshop that Jenna Camacho, my personal trainer, was hosting, and she had asked me to be a part of it. And that in of itself was a little bit out of my comfort zone. And I thought, okay, there must be something I would get from this. So I said yes, and I did the workshop. At the end, Jenna introduced me to Trisha and described what this program was. In that moment, I knew that this was the reason that I was there. I was meant to meet this person, and I feel like I had to say yes. I feel like it was chosen for me before I even got a chance to do it. But I also think that I was just in young motherhood. I had a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and just sort of caught in that drift. Yes, I was seeing clients online, but just really in that space of new motherhood where you can just easily very get lost in the kids and the demands and the responsibilities of being a new mom. I wasn't my focus. I was just sort of drifting. And so when I heard about the program and I heard about what the program has to offer, I felt like that would be what I needed to help me anchor and get back to my center, which it turned out to do. I'm so glad that I did it.
I love that. You use the word drift, which resonates a lot with me. In my changed career, we used to talk a lot about drift from an organizational standpoint and personal standpoint. We would talk about intervening in the drift because most of the times, be it an organization or us individuals, we find ourselves in this space in life where we are just drifting. We're kind of just caught in this tide. We're just drifting along. It's just the normal cycle of eat, sleep, work, repeat. And it's just happening to us. We know there's so much more we want to do. We have all this potential and amazing greatness to offer the world, but we're stuck in this drift. And to get out of the drift, you have to choose to do something different. You have to choose to go in a particular direction and say, I'm going to go there. You have to set your sights somewhere and you make a very deliberate, intentional intervention to break the drift. Otherwise, you get stuck in it. I love that that's what you're talking about. I always say that this program is a goal-focused program. We set a goal for ourselves a year and a half down the line. What we do is we say the first major win that I want to achieve towards that goal, this first major milestone is this thing. And this is what we come together week after week in the program to be accountable, to take action towards that milestone. Would you tell us a little bit about what was the milestone that you set for yourself? And did you get there?
Sure. Well, it definitely shifted and changed throughout. And my experience in the program took me in different directions. But yeah, I absolutely set out to start a YouTube channel, upload some videos, and create some complementary products that would supplement my work with my clients. I was able to start the channel, upload a video, and I was able also to host a workshop where I was able to provide the link to my video. So that felt like a nice win for me. That definitely got my momentum and my juices flowing again. But I think there was something about being in the program with other women that were in business. There was a lot of women talking about business goals and running their own business or being part of organizations. Because I've always just operated on my own, there was something that was sparked in me being around these women. So I would say coming out at the end of the program, I started to take on a more, with the tools that I learned in the program, a much more active role in a business that my husband and I run. He himself now has been like, I shocked because he says he's the difference in my momentum and my motivation and productivity and getting things done. So I think that through the program, I found this feeling and sense that there is a business person inside of me that wants to come out. And
Yeah.
so I've just been enjoying that as well.
I love that. What I hear in that is that as we go through this, and I see this happen so often in this program, is our capacity expand, our vision of what is
For
possible.
myself,
Yes,
yes.
absolutely. Our vision of what is possible for ourselves totally expands. And in that expansion, our capacity to be able to achieve it expands. So your capacity to do the work that you do in terms of serving your clients, as well as partnering in your husband's business, as well as expanding in terms of the products and things. And I know there's a lot more that you have on your plate in terms of what you're working on, in terms of where you want to take different things. So I know that as well. It's almost like that circle of what's possible for us just expands. It just gets bigger. And so I love that you are acknowledging that. I also love that you are pointing out that I came to this with a particular goal, and yes, I hit it, but it also changed.
Right.
And I love that you talk about that with positivity and appreciation as well, because I think very often in life, when goals shift and change, we almost take that as a personal failure. It's
Oh.
almost like I didn't make that, so therefore I had to change the goal. But that is what happens in the journey. We can't possibly know. We set sights on our goal in the absence of tons of information and experience and the presence of a number of unknowns. And it's only as we start to take action towards our goals does that path start to reveal. And it's the path reveals, we can then figure out, wait a minute, am I actually on the right path, or do I need to tweak and change this? So
Yeah.
that is not a sign of failure, but it's a sign of action, and it's a sign of discovery as
Yeah.
we move and tweak our goals. Very often we layer on a lot of judgment and beliefs around what it means if I said I was going to do a particular thing and then I didn't quite make that. Lovely. So that's the goal itself. And I love that you talk about the goal in this program. There's a lot more that happens other than just working on the goal. There are many different personal wins and transformations and shifts in our beliefs and perceptions that also happen as we go through this journey on our own, as well as with the group we're with. So tell us a little bit about what's different for you now, personally, on that level. What's different for you now? A belief, a way of thinking, what really has shifted and changed in you as you have gone through this?
Well, I think on a behavioral habits level, the program certainly shares a lot of useful information about productivity, planning your day the night before, how you chunk and organize time with yourself and for your work during the program or just during your day. So definitely took away a lot of tips and tools in terms of productivity, and it's increasing my bandwidth for what I can achieve throughout the day. But as I was reflecting, something else that has transformed in me or has just sort of opened up is I feel a lot more positive and trusting in spaces with women. I was honest in the beginning and I said, this is way out of my, I could talk about goals, I could talk about academic things, that's fine. But to be in a small group space with all these women and most of them that you know socially, so you have this kind of preconceived notion of them, it was very intimidating and brought up a major vulnerability in the beginning for me. I think going through the process, there is so much positivity, there's so much positive feedback, there's so much celebrating of your wins. It's like you've never really been in a space with, I should say, I wasn't in a space before where a group of women could consistently praise and uphold each other in that way. I find myself, I don't know, being a little bit more complimentary to women, being a little bit more open, just being a little bit more like my shoulders relaxed. And I think that that's quite a transformation because I've always been a more reserved person. That's something that's come from the program, in addition to all the great tips on productivity and how to be more efficient throughout my day.
Yeah, I love that you bring that up. I often say that people resist joining this program because of the group. And then when they leave, the thing that they appreciate the most is the group. There is something about being in the authentic presence of people who are going through the same journey as you that completely transforms the experience that we have. So it's different. It's different just being with a group of friends or just being with a group of women. There's something very different about your group of women that comes together because we all come together to work on a particular thing, to go on this journey together. We know this journey will have ups and downs. And so just in doing that, we are showing up differently for each other. We are all experiencing the same thing, maybe at different times. And so we know how important it is to celebrate and appreciate and uplift and show empathy and to show care and kindness, all the things that we need to navigate the journey. We all may not have ups on the same week and downs on the same week, but we know that we're all having ups and downs somewhere in the journey. So I love that it is a true authentic presence in a vulnerable space that you learn to love and enjoy and look forward to. I think we would all say that moment every week where we get together in the calls is a renewing experience. It's uplifting, motivating, very renewing. Was there a moment, Tiffany, for you where it was a breakthrough moment that kind of really stood out for you, and maybe what sparked it?
Well, I don't want to give away the exercise too much, but we had this lovely session where we looked a lot at our strengths, getting to really understand our strengths a lot more. And it wasn't just about getting to know their strengths, but it was really this, because yes, I'm a psychologist. And so it's always about helping people achieve growth and transformation and working on what's not going well and helping people transform. But a major thrust of that session was, instead of focusing on all of the things that you are not good at and self-improvement, why not keep your focus on the things that you really are actually naturally good at, and those become your superpowers? I just thought that was so transformational, just so uplifting, not meaning that you're not aware of your vulnerabilities and what you need to work on, but being able to really hone in and focus on your strengths is something that I think that we all really could benefit from, because they really do. I remember in the session, someone said they're always there for you to lean back on. Yeah. And I thought that was really transformational.
Yeah, I mean, that is an absolute great moment. I know in the program for many people, it's a very pivotal moment when we reach that point and we are leaning into our strengths. It comes at a time where we have definitely gone through some of the ups and downs. So I think it also means that we suddenly see our strengths differently. Like, I really need these. They're really great for me. And I know it's a very pivotal moment for a lot of us. And I love that it's something that we generally get wrong in life, in work. There's always this narrative about fixing what's wrong, improving your weaknesses, being different, right? This is about deepening our self-awareness to understand our strengths, and then giving us language to speak about our strengths and helping us to understand how leaning into your strengths makes you much more powerful than constantly trying to fix, rather than just leaning into what you already have as strength. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay, so let's put it this way. Talk to the woman on the other side of the screen who is listening. She's thinking about this, but there's something holding her back. What would you say to her?
Well, I would say if we identify things that hold us back, one would usually be finances. We would say it's not the right time to make this investment. But from my experience, I found that your investment is given to you in spades in terms of the content and the organization. You will receive information and tools that are very tangible. A lot of these things that you pick up along the way is so much more. You know, the bang for your buck just kind of extends past the program and past the 2 hours of the weekly call into the community of women you get to be a part of. And then there is just this continuing, you know, we're about to do a lovely retreat together. So it's like, it doesn't just end there. There's this continued opportunity for growth and self-enhancement that comes from being a part of this. And I think that extends beyond what you pay for in the actual program itself. I think people will always think, I don't have the time. But really, if you decide to schedule that time, put it in your calendar, you'd be surprised how you make sure that life moves around it. I think that's really important to know. This is what we were talking about earlier. One thing that might keep women back is the idea of doing this with other women and perceiving that other people are so much better. It's just the most humbling space to be a part of. It ends up being the thing that you value the most about it. Like, you could not fear, you know, being vulnerable in this space, because there's a lot of growth that comes from it.
Yeah, I love that you bring up all those points. Thank you. There's so much research out there that says when we invest in our personal growth, it comes back to us both financially and in terms of the emotional reward. For every dollar you invest in yourself, you can foresee that that's going to come back 2 times 10. There's great research out there that shows that. And the thing that I want to emphasize as well, it came up in one of the other groups. One of the women said, I absolutely now just prioritize this hour and a half that we have every week. I tell my whole team that this is what I'm doing, because I know that when I leave, I have so much more capacity to be better at work. So I take that time, but what I give back afterwards is so much more that if I would just power through that hour and a half and give it up because I'm too busy or whatever. By prioritizing it, she has seen that she's actually able to have more time, more capacity, and be more functional in work. And so it almost comes back to her. The time expands as well. So I love that you bring that up.
Sure.
Before we go, Tiffany, thank you for sharing all of these wonderful snippets from your experience. I know we could talk about this lots. I could certainly talk about this all the time, as you know. But what final words would you like to share? Is there anything that you're like, I can't leave without saying this to the woman who's watching? Any final words that you'd like to share?
Just do it. I want to meet you. I want to meet the people. I want to meet new people. I love that there are so many women out there in this space and time in their lives now that are willing to do this and invest in themselves. And I just haven't heard anybody who's done it that felt like they came away like, I wasn't too sure. Everybody speaks so highly of it. So I think just do it.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here with me today. I really appreciate it. And I just want to appreciate in you, I want to say thank you so much. You were one of those people, you never missed a call, whether you were sick in a different country, wherever you were always there. We could count on you for your energy, your presence, and your incredible wisdom that you shared with us along the journey. I think we all said this to you, and you know this already, but I will share it more publicly, that you have a way of seeing things and raising them up for others to see in a different way that really shifts perspectives. We all benefited so much and gained so much inspiration from your wisdom. And I just want to say thank you so much for sharing that with us along this journey.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.